Imagine discovering that behind the most epic rivalry in Formula One history, there was a psychological battle so ingenious that it went completely unnoticed by most people. A silent mental battle fought far from the spotlight, where every moment was crucial, not to set lap times, but to establish absolute supremacy. Max Verstappen has just exposed his secret strategy against Lewis Hamilton, and what you are about to discover could radically change your understanding of that historic 2021 season. Get ready, because this story will surprise you more than you can imagine. Let's explore this fascinating plot in depth. Hamilton dominated world motorsport with 7 championship titles under his belt, tying the legendary Michael Schumacher. He was the absolute ruler, accustomed to completely controlling the pace on and off the track. His every move was meticulously planned, every gesture demonstrating the power of someone who was perfectly aware of his dominant influence. Verstappen, on the other hand, emerged as the young Dutch challenger, hungry for recognition and determined to completely dethrone Lewis's empire. But how do you confront someone who seemed invincible? How do you destabilize someone who had already intimidated the biggest names in the sport? The solution lay in the subtlest aspects, in those moments that no one paid attention to. Bradley Sainz, Verstappen's former performance engineer, recently shared on the High Performance podcast an approach that few knew about, but which was possibly decisive in changing the course of Formula One history. After races or qualifying sessions, the top 3 finishers head to the relaxation room, a private area before the official press conferences. It was there, away from the spotlight and cameras, that Hamilton always meticulously managed his personal schedule. He would completely change out of his racing suit, carefully style his hair, and put on his personal clothes with extreme precision. It was a sacred ritual, an indirect demonstration that he was in control of everyone's time. The other competitors simply waited, recognizing the hierarchy established over the years. Verstappen originally just watched, waiting like everyone else, possibly digesting all that dynamic internally. However, something fundamental changed during that extraordinary season that would define the future of the category. The Dutchman realized that he could turn his own irritation into an extremely powerful and accurate psychological tool. If Hamilton wanted to set the pace and demonstrate authority, Verstappen would show that a new era was beginning and who would truly lead from that moment on. The change in strategy was absolutely brilliant. Verstappen began to perform exactly the same actions as Hamilton, but in an even more meticulous and prolonged manner. He replaced each component of his equipment with excessive patience, meticulously adjusted every aspect of his appearance, intentionally delayed each movement, and forced Hamilton to wait as if it were the most natural thing in the universe. It was a complete reversal of roles that completely surprised the 7-time world champion. The young challenger was now setting the rules of the contest, forcing the experienced Hamilton to wait respectfully for his turn, experiencing firsthand what others had experienced for decades. Sainz characterized the situation with an observation that perfectly sums up the whole strategy. It was a pure demonstration of authority, a clear message that the baton was being passed and that the new generation was definitively taking center stage in Formula One. Picture the whole scene. Hamilton, accustomed throughout his career to being the absolute center of attention and in complete control of the timing, forced to wait for a 23-year-old to deliberately finish all his meticulous preparations. The tension in the air must have been palpable. But why did this seemingly basic approach prove so devastatingly effective? The underlying psychology is truly captivating. Hamilton has built his entire career on complete control of his public image, timing, and commanding presence. Every public appearance was carefully choreographed, every moment structured for maximum impact. Being forced to wait completely destroyed this established dynamic, creating a small but significant crack in his seemingly indestructible mental armor. And in Formula One, where hundredths of a second determine entire championships, even the slightest shift in mental balance can mean the difference between victory and defeat. Verstappen had grasped something truly essential about high-level competition. Occasionally, winning transcends mere raw speed on the track or innate natural talent. It involves controlling delicate narratives, dominating psychological territories, imposing your presence in such a way that your opponent feels genuinely uncomfortable and out of their natural element. It was a sophisticated mind game masquerading as simple post-race routine. Truly brilliant. The most impressive aspect of this whole strategy is that it worked in a completely subliminal way. No journalist drew attention to the events in that reserved backstage environment. Television broadcasts did not capture these intimate and revealing moments. But for the two drivers directly involved in this silent dispute, every second there was filled with palpable tension and deep meaning. It was like watching a showdown between gunfighters in the American West, only fought with racing suits and displays of time control. Consider the delicious irony of this circumstance. Hamilton, universally recognized as an absolute expert in mind games throughout his illustrious career, experiencing firsthand the medicine he had always administered so skillfully. The man who psychologically annihilated Nico Rosberg in 2014, who destabilized Sebastian Vettel in several confrontations, now faced someone genuinely prepared to use the same lethal weapons against him. The difference lay in the fact that Verstappen carried a youthful ambition and determination that Hamilton possibly did not anticipate encountering. And the practical results demonstrate everything unequivocally. 2021 was precisely the year in which Verstappen definitively broke Hamilton's hegemony, won his first world championship in dramatic fashion, and began a period of complete domination that continues today with 4 consecutive titles. Mere coincidence? Highly unlikely. Every little psychological element, every micro-mental advantage gained behind the scenes contributed directly to that historic outcome that completely transformed Formula One. Today, with Hamilton racing for Ferrari alongside Charles Leclerc and Verstappen, a 4-time world champion representing Red Bull, this revelation takes on even more extraordinary dimensions. It demonstrates how the relentless mindset of an ambitious young man can overcome even the most established and revered giants of motorsport. Verstappen not only outperformed Hamilton on the track during that epic season, he completely defeated him behind the scenes, in the most refined psychological battle, in a silent war that few privileged people witnessed directly. The ultimate lesson transcends Formula One and goes beyond motorsports. It is about how seemingly insignificant small gestures can convey powerful messages, how intelligent perseverance can break down seemingly invincible barriers, and how winning often means being truly prepared to play the game better than your opponent ever thought possible. This fascinating narrative leads us to wonder how many other explosive secrets remain hidden behind the epic rivalries we follow so devotedly. How many other revolutionary psychological approaches have been employed over the years without us even realizing their existence? And more crucially, are we only seeing the microscopic tip of the iceberg of these elaborate mental battles that truly define the authentic champions? Share your honest opinions in the comments below. Share this video if you found this revelation as surprising and impactful as I did. And stay tuned to our channel because we have many more explosive secrets from behind the scenes of Formula One to uncover together this season.